This episode is brought to you by Extra.Fund, a Dubai-based fully doxed DeFi company. Extra has applied capital protection mechanisms and guarantees that were previously unavailable in the blockchain industry. Their guaranteed fund program is designed to compensate you if the token price drops. The fund will automatically match up to 90% of the initial purchase price. Get over to Extra.Fund for more information about how you can buy, stake, and earn profits no matter what the crypto markets are doing. Link in the description below.
This my two Satoshis. This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah.
It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another My Two Satoshis video. We're doing a market analysis today, and it is definitely needed. You see what's going on in the markets. I see what's going on in the markets. I put a tweet out earlier today saying anyone who's been following me and understands my thesis should not be surprised or isn't surprised at the direction we're going in the markets. It's written on the wall. I got something from Nassim Taleb, who is the author of Anti-Fragile is the name of his book, his recent book. And he also wrote a book called Black Swan. I actually recommend you guys read both of those books. But we're going to go over some comments he made on Twitter about Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the technicals today as well, look at the charts, and look at why we are going through this right now. There's a lot of geopolitical situations going on over in Europe. You guys need to be aware of. This is because Bitcoin and cryptos are now coming into the mainstream. It is being affected by mainstream events and news headlines, just like any other asset class. So you have to start thinking like that. You can no longer be this linear, just think, I'm just going to put all my money in crypto, close my eyes, and everything is going to be okay. No. It's a new game. You got to be smart and you got to do your research. All right. So that's what we'll be covering on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. Let's get it.
But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this.
So before getting started, I definitely want you guys to get over to BitYard. That is my official cryptocurrency exchange for the CBTV network. Listen, they are one of the best. I've been with them for over 2 years. So it's not like I'm just shilling this exchange just to shill them. They've been a longtime partner of mine. They are actually registered in the United States to officially trade or allow you to trade in the United States, Estonia, and also Australia. So they are official. They have all types of contracts that you can trade in cryptos. You can do futures. I do futures because that gives you leverage, making a lot of money. I'll go over my algo trades in a second, making a lot of money with those leverage trades. The light futures contracts are the easiest for you to get into. All you have to do is load your account with USDT, and then you can start trading against Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and a number of other ones. Or you can straight trade spot. Spot is 1-for-1. You're just buying that particular cryptocurrency and you can actually move it off of the exchange after you buy. And most importantly, as you guys see me highlighted in the main menu there, buy crypto right now is the hottest feature on BitYard because they are giving you 0 transactional fees if you buy cryptos on their exchange. And then you can move them off if you want, but you can get 0 transactional fees if you buy your crypto with fiat through their Transact partner or their Mercurio partner. Those two right there, as you guys see highlighted, you'll get dollar for dollar, however many Bitcoins or the cryptocurrencies you buy. So take advantage of that. Link is in the description below if you want to really take advantage of that move. All right, let's take a look at the nitty gritty. I haven't done a technical update in a minute. And as you guys can see, I had these trend lines drawn last week. Okay, we broke this one right here. That was a pretty steep one. I was expecting us to break that. That's nothing major there. But then we actually broke, and I don't know what happened to this one, but I had a trend line drawn right here. All right. We broke this trend line on February 17th. That was major. When I saw that happen, I knew that we would probably see a move down to this outer trend line, as you guys see here. And we just straight blew right through that one. That was over the weekend. A lot of news came out about Ukraine. We're going to get into the details of that and what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Full breach of all those trend lines. And unfortunately, I'm just have to be the bearer of bad news for those who don't listen to me. We're heading lower, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about lower to at least $34,000, $35,000 Bitcoin. And then from there, we can see what happens. But ultimately, we're starting the week off bearish again as we move down. Could not sustain above this $43,000. You see that green line there? That is the $43,000 marker, which is putting us above the channel that we've been in for, or we were in all last year from May all the way up to August. We were in that channel, and then we saw a breakout, but we're back into that channel, and it's not looking good here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to explain exactly why, if you're new to the channel, what is going on. It's not just about, as I stated at the beginning, buying Bitcoin, closing your eyes and going away. No, this is starting to become a big boy asset, and the big boys are playing in this asset. And so when things happen in your traditional markets, or when geopolitical things happen, listen, it's going to affect your cryptos as well. And that's kind of what, and we'll get to this article, that's exactly what Nassim Taleb is talking about. I respect this guy from a traditional markets perspective. He was a Bitcoin supporter for a few years there, but then last year he kind of turned his back to it. And, you know, as much as we're all about cryptos, we have to listen to all sides of the story, all opinions, even stubborn ass Peter Schiff. Even though he's absolutely wrong, I wouldn't even put Peter Schiff and Nassim Taleb in the same category. Shame on Peter Schiff. He knew about Bitcoin back in 2012 and 13. It's just no reason why he's been shaming it all the way up from a couple $100 to where we are today, 40 something thousand dollars, 30 something $1,000 Bitcoin. So he does not get any respect from me in regards to his analysis on Bitcoin. But Nassim Taleb, you need to take a look at, even if we don't fully agree with him, you need to hear what he has to say about Bitcoin. Now, I told you guys I'm trading on BitYard. These are some of the positions my algos has us in. And you know, we went short, unfortunately, went short last week on the 16th in Bitcoin. And look at that. I'm just going to zoom in, full screen it. Look, ran up, tapped us out, stopped us out of that short position. Oh, that would have been so much money. From point of entry, we would have been up over 12% in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, that's just what happens sometimes. You can't get it all. But I will say, on the other side, the Ethereum trade did not get tapped out. Took profit last week, 50% off on the 17th, and the rest we let ride. We are now up a total of 16% with Ethereum. So still making money in this bearish market. So I can't really complain, ladies and gentlemen. But let's take a look at the heat map. We got Bitcoin down 4.3%. It's trading at 38,216 bucks. But the altcoins are getting hit very hard. Ethereum, it's down 5.48%. H-bar, another one of my favorites, down 5.9%. Near is a good one as well, down 5.9%. Crow down 7.2%. So as you guys can see, some of the coins that are stronger fundamentally are getting smacked today. That's because, unfortunately, where Bitcoin goes, the rest of the markets eventually have to follow. And you may have some that are holding up, like Solana. It's holding up right now. Not sure why. That's one of the worst blockchains that's out right now. Technically speaking, they keep having outages and can't scale properly. It's up 1%. I would be fading the rally. I would be fading the rally on this Solana if I were you, taking those profits and going to cash, or even into some of these other altcoins that are hit hard. But this article out of CoinGate talks about Bitcoin losing a key support area, and they were talking about it losing the $39,000 area and how it did try to rally up to $44,000. But you know what they're saying here at this point is that it will head lower, and traders like yourselves, if you're watching this video, you need to watch some key support and resistance areas. And those resistance layer areas, really, I want to focus on the support areas, because that's where we will see maybe a bounce. They're saying from $36,372 roughly, depends on what exchange you're talking about. That's S1. S2 is $30,000. I'm more concerned about the $30,000 one, S2. All right, S1, I think we're going to breach. I don't even have 36 on the radar, to be honest with you. I'm looking for $35,000 Bitcoin. If we breach that, then lower we go to $31,500. Those are my targets. And they're saying that Bitcoin retracement plunged right below, back into the and below the 20-day and 50-day moving averages. And they're also looking at some of the on-chain data indicators, which I have a video coming out actually tomorrow that talks about some on-chain data tools that you can use with this platform called Vector. Okay, I'll be putting out that video this week. You guys are going to be very excited about Vector trading software. They have a mobile, they have a web, and also a desktop version of their software. But their software has this on-chain data section that you can overlay on your charts that really gives you insider information on seeing what's going on chain. This is stuff you won't see on a price chart. So look forward for that video, because I'm actually giving you guys a 30-day free trial of their pro level. So you get that for free. Once you watch that video, I have a link in the description of that video to sign up for free for 30 days. But on-chain data is another way you can kind of give yourself a competitive edge against other traders in the market. But what you guys have to understand as traders, active traders out there in your portfolio, your crypto portfolio, one thing you have to start listening to or watching out for are those key indicators outside of crypto. I've seen so many traders just rely on technical analysis. It's great. Technical analysis works short term, but when you have an overarching fundamental source that is going to kind of suppress or dictate the direction of Bitcoin, you need to pay attention to that. You really do. This is an interesting tweet from Nassim Taleb, the author of The Black Swan, and I'll leave a link in the description of this video so you can check that out. I think this is something you should definitely look at, because it'll get you kind of in that mode of understanding things from a broader perspective. Black swans are events that no one really had an idea would happen, so it catches markets off guard. He also wrote this book, Anti-Fragile, and this one is one of his latest ones, and I really think you should check this one out. This author put out a tweet today or yesterday, and he said basically Bitcoin is a perfect sucker's game. Wow. You say, well, damn, you know, why are we looking and listening to this guy? Listen, you should, because he used to be a Bitcoin believer. He actually was investing in Bitcoin, all right, and he switched his opinion about it, and that's fine. We shouldn't trash people. We should actually at least take a look at why he switched his opinion about Bitcoin. So let me just explain and read this tweet really quickly, and then I'll explain my interpretation of it. He says, so it turns out that Bitcoin is not a hedge against inflation, not a hedge against gold, oil squeezes, not a hedge against gold stocks. And of course, Bitcoin is not a hedge against geopolitical events. Actually, the exact opposite. The perfect sucker game during low interest rates. So this is interesting, because I have to admit it. This tweet, he's telling the truth. He's telling the God honest truth. And I hate to admit it, but he's right. Bitcoin is not a hedge against all those things that he mentioned. And many people thought that it was going to be. And if it's not going to be, then you have to really reassess the reason you're investing in Bitcoin, because everyone says 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, you do care what 1 Bitcoin equals to $1. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. You can't give me that bullshit about 1 Bitcoin equal 1 Bitcoin, because we're not there yet. We're maybe 10, 20 years, if ever, will be to the point where we don't care what the dollar price of Bitcoin is. Let's just be straight honest with each other. So with that being said, you know, we're seeing it express and play out right now. Bitcoin is tanking because of a number of things, one being inflation, right? Inflation is rising. And then typically, you know, inflation wouldn't be a bad thing for Bitcoin. Bitcoin would go up in price if inflation were to persist. However, with higher inflation, we know that the Fed is going to try to combat that with hiring interest rates to bring that inflation down, to cool down the economy. And when they do that, it is going to cause a slowdown economically, right? So it's kind of like we're looking at the reaction of the Feds because of high inflation. And that's why Bitcoin is heading lower. One of the reasons. Another reason, of course, and we'll look at this other article, Ukraine. We saw more details come out over the weekend about Ukraine and Russia moving on to the border of Ukraine, and you know, all these things leaking about that. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. But that's another and more pressing reason why Bitcoin is heading lower, and the altcoins are being dragged with it. And so I have to agree with Nassim Taleb on this tweet. Unfortunately, I hate to admit it, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Business Insider talks about Lufthansa and Australian Airlines suspending flights into some of Ukraine's areas amid the security concerns. So that's one issue starting to arise. As you guys see, they're not flying into Kyiv. You're starting to see the ramifications of this potential war occurring. We got Vice President Kamala Harris over at the Munich Security Conference, which is like the biggest security conference every year. I think it's every year. It's the biggest. All the world's security people and diplomats are at this conference. Okay, so she's speaking there, and she said that the real possibility of war in Europe is true. She also goes on to say that the Biden administration is still aiming for a diplomatic end to this moment. Come on now. We all know that the Biden-Harris administration has been doing horribly, right? Come on, we can all admit that. And diplomatically, from like that standpoint, they're not doing any better either. They're not doing anything domestically. Their domestic policies are horrible, and their foreign policies are, it's like they don't even know what they're doing. I say all that to say, many people may think that this whole situation with Ukraine and Russia is a made up Western media event. May well be, but it doesn't matter if it's made up if everyone believes the media. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you have to take that in consideration, whether it's real or not. Maybe the Fed and the government are looking to cause some type of false flag to get our attention off of what's going on, or push the blame on our stock market about to tank because the Fed has to raise interest rates. Maybe they are trying to false flag it and put the blame on the Ukraine-Russia altercation. And hey, that's a great scapegoat, right? That could very well be the case, but it doesn't matter what the case is. We just got to know that it's going to affect the crypto markets. And this one out of Business Insider as well. Russian commanders have reportedly received orders to proceed with Ukraine invasion, according to, I'm gonna highlight this, according to the U.S. Intelligence Office. All right. We should have learned that lesson about the U.S. Intelligence Office about from 9/11, right? Going into Afghanistan and weapons of mass destruction, all that stuff they lied about. And the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, said that on Sunday he believed that Russia was, quote unquote, moving forward on an attack. I don't believe it. You shouldn't believe it either. However, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It just matters if the market is going to react to it, and the market is totally reacting to this news, these headlines. So that's where we are with things, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys can see, the markets are not doing well. I'm going to extend this channel out a little bit so we can get a better picture of it. But hey, I think we head lower. Next area that I would be watching out for, which is kind of far from here, the $35,000 Bitcoin region, which is damn near 10% away from where we are today. So we still got another deep and steep leg down to see whether or not we can hold that level before making another decision. And again, I'm short Ethereum and ready to go long and cover my shorts at any real move up. So I'm locking in those gains, and I got tapped out that Bitcoin one, as I told you guys before. But what I can get you guys to do is a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're not. And if you have subscribed, unsubscribe and resubscribe for me. Click that bell, unclick it, all that stuff, because I'm not getting any of my viewers with those alerts when I put out videos. We got to get those alert gangs on and popping again. All right, it's your boy Crypto Blood. That's another market analysis episode 2 brought to you by BitYard. I'm out of here. Holla.